Okay, so let's continue. Please fill in your notes and add any little writings that I add to the screens as we go through them. You can write that in the margin or a little note to yourself off to the side. So basically, fossil fuels, what are they? They came from plants and animals. Mostly this has been algae or marine organisms that died, were buried, and then decomposed, and mostly this is done on the ocean floor or where oceans used to be, current or where they used to be. Because some oceans have been moved over time. Okay, so basically this organic matter went through temperature and pressure changes, were basically settled to the bottom of the ocean, okay, and then they were covered by layers of sand, layers of silt, and then more layers of sand and more layers of silt. And so it just kept on getting heavier and heavier on top of it. When it was doing that, the temperature increased, so did the pressure. And then after a long time, the fossil fuel formed. This is an oil rig. Oil rigs can be on, again, the ocean, current ocean, or where the oceans used to be, like in the deserts where a lot of uh, the Middle East is. They have a lot of oil because those used to be a lot of that used to be ancient sediments that and organic matter that was buried and just piled up so much that there's no longer. It's well below the surface. Okay, so how do we use them? We use it in electricity production. We burn oil, coal, natural gas for electricity. We also use it for transportation, like gasoline, and we also use it for plastics and cosmetics. And these two things only basically are coming from oil or petroleum. Oil and petroleum, these are the same thing. Okay? Okay. So, how does a fossil fuel plant produce electricity? Basically, we burn coal or oil, which is caused to create heat. We do that with natural gas too, which creates heat, which is used to turn a turbine, which basically is like a giant, think of it as like a giant wheel. Okay? And that wheel is used to generate electricity. So let's go through the steps. Okay? We burn it, which creates heat. Heat turns water to steam. Steam turns the turbine. Which generates electricity. Okay? This right here is steam that is coming off of this coal burning plant. Okay? Now, we know that energy cannot be created and destroyed. We know that from the last one. So how does this get transferred? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred from one type to another. So basically, we start off with chemical energy. That's the oil. Okay? That gets transferred, once we burn it, that gets transferred to thermal energy. That thermal energy is used to make steam, which the steam then turns a turbine. So the turbine is undergoing mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy is transferred to electrical energy. Okay, these types of plants are very reliable. They're generally cheap to build, but they produce a lot of carbon dioxide. This is a greenhouse gas. Erase that. Greenhouse gases contribute to climate change. Okay. They also create pollutants and they need to be transported over long distances. So a lot of the oil that we produce in this country comes specifically from the Gulf of Mexico, and we will have to transport that oil via pipelines all over the United States. Why is continuing to access fossil fuels problematic? First of all, fossil fuels take millions of years to form. They're being depleted quickly. Okay. We are using them at a rate that cannot be sustained. We use it from anything. We use particularly oil. We use anything from gasoline for our cars to heating our homes to building to making all the single-use plastics for water bottles and packaging that we have, and it's being used at a very, very quick rate. They also contribute to climate change, and they can cause human health issues, particularly the pollution that comes off of it. So as the fossil fuels that is easy to get becomes depleted, extraction from unconventional reserves is required. So a lot of the fossil fuel is pretty easy to get. We drill down into the rock. We reach an oil reserve down there, and we can pump it out of the ground. However, as that gets lower and lower, it becomes harder and harder to pump it up through the surface because there's less pressure down there, because there's less oil pushing in on it. And so we have to either pump it up faster, or we have to either be extracted from other sources like tar sand, and it requires it's very costly, and it causes safety issues and environmental impacts, including oil spills. Okay, so the summary. Fossil fuels are formed from once living organisms that have been decomposed. We use them for transportation, produce electricity, and making common items like plastics. Okay, fossil fuels are a reliable source of energy, but they produce climate pollution and contribute to climate change. Fossil fuels are being depleted very quickly. We anticipate we only have about 50 years left of oil. Quickly continuing to access them has financial, safety, and environmental impacts. Financial means as it becomes harder to extract, prices go up. Okay? Thank you very much.